Nigeria sent a man to a United Nations Women's Conference. Read that again. A man to a women's conference. And the woman they pushed out to make that happen is the exact same woman who has been fighting this system with everything she has. Let that sit for a second, because this story goes much deeper than a delegation list. Right now, as you are watching this, the 70th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women CSW70 is happening live in New York City. It started on March 9 and runs until March 19. World leaders, policymakers, and activists from across the globe are gathered at the United Nations headquarters to fight for one thing: the rights, protection, and advancement of women and girls. Every member state was expected to show up and represent. Nigeria showed up all right, just not with who you would expect. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, the senator for Kogi Central and one of only 4 female senators in Nigeria's entire National Assembly, was initially approached by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs to be part of this delegation. They asked for the photo page of her international passport. She sent it within 3 hours of receiving that request. 3 hours. She was ready, she was willing, she was excited, and then she was told she was no longer going because her details were allegedly submitted too late. 3 hours, and it was too late. Now, when Natasha raised this issue publicly at a Senate Committee on Appropriations meeting on February 25, Senator Ireti Kingibe, who chairs the Senate Committee on Women Affairs and represents the Federal Capital Territory, stood up in front of everyone and denied that any removal had taken place. She went further. She looked Natasha in the eye and made a promise so strong that a video of it went viral across every platform. She said, and these are her words, "If Senator Natasha is not going to attend the program, it means I am not going to attend too." Nigeria heard that. The world heard that. And then 10 days later, a letter arrived dated March 5, and everything in that letter contradicted every single word of that promise. In the letter, Kingibe told Natasha that only 2 senators had been officially nominated by the Senate President and had confirmed their registration for CSW70, herself and Senator Adeniyi Adegbomire, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights, and Legal Matters. Senator Adegbomire is a man. The same delegation, the same event built entirely around women's rights, and Nigeria's second official Senate slot went to a man, while a willing female senator was told to find her own way there independently if she already had a valid US visa. She was literally told to sort herself out. That is what the letter said. And before you think maybe there simply were no female senators available, let us be clear. Nigeria has 4 female senators total. 2 of them, Senator Idiat Adebule of Lagos West and Senator Ipalibo Banigo of Rivers West, were invited first and both declined. That left Natasha as the next available and willing female senator. They still went with a man. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and like this video right now, because this is exactly the kind of story that Nigerian media needs to keep shouting about, and we are not stopping until people hear it. But here is the part that will make your jaw drop. A member of staff at the Senate Committee on Women Affairs, who refused to be named because they feared for their job, told Premium Times something explosive. They said the Senate leadership deliberately removed Natasha from this delegation because they were afraid she would raise controversial issues at the UN event and embarrass Nigeria on the international stage. Let that land. The reason they gave behind closed doors was not logistics, it was not passport submission timing, it was fear. Fear of what Natasha would say once she had a global microphone in her hands. And if you know this woman's history, you understand exactly why they were scared. This is the senator who last year stood before international bodies at CSW69 in New York and called for the world to hold Nigeria's Senate accountable after she was suspended for 6 months. That suspension came after she publicly accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. She had her committee chairmanship stripped, her salary was suspended, her office was locked, her aides stopped receiving pay. Courts later questioned the legality of that suspension. She fought every single battle, and she never apologized once. So yes, they know exactly what Natasha does when she gets to New York, and apparently the solution was simply not to let her go. As of today, March 10, the Senate President's office has given no official response. Senator Kingibe was not reachable. The Senate spokesperson's phone was not connecting, but the silence from those in power is speaking louder than any statement ever could. Nigeria has 4 female senators out of a chamber full of male lawmakers. 4. And at a global conference built specifically to advance women's rights and gender equality, this country could not find it in itself to send even one of those 4 women in that second slot. Critics are not just angry, they're asking a much bigger question about what it truly means to advocate for women when the people in charge cannot even make space for them at the table where women's issues are being decided. So here is your question for the comments today, and we genuinely want to hear from you. Is what happened to Natasha a political targeting, a systemic failure, or both? Drop your answer below, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, now is the time, because we are on this story and we are not letting it go.